Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time. Before we begin today's extra special chaotic episode, we want to honor our amazing feral venerator of Survein, Lux, who has supported us since the first day we launched the podcast. Thank you very much.
So many of you know that, evidently, we're a chaotic bunch, but more importantly, we're a group with no sense of self-preservation. We've already got one chaos gremlin on the show, and as if Matt weren't enough, we decided to amp up the depravity and chaos by inviting another chaos monster, that being Kevin. And as we wanted to discuss something just as abhorrent as him, we chose to talk about... Is there supposed to be an actual drum roll here? Ooh, fancy.
There can be noises.
Shadow Spawn.
Ooh,
But first we wanted to ask Kevin, why the hell are you the way you are?
Why?
Well,
Why?
Just why?
I was dropped on my head at 9 days old. That did happen. I think I rolled off my dad's chest, is how he puts it. But he's the one that fell asleep holding me.
Wait, you're serious? Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, that's a real story, yeah.
I mean, I just wish you would have been dropped harder or just not as hard.
There's like a weird middle ground, yeah.
Yeah, the weird middle ground is just whatever ended up with this.
Kevin, we are head trauma twins because when I was like 8 years old, I was playing on my dad's weight bench, and so it was next to his couch, and I took a couch cushion off and put it on the arm of the sofa. I was like, oh, it's a little bridge between the weight bench and the couch. So I walked across the cushion, it collapsed, and I whacked my head on the corner of one of his iron bars and spent much time in the hospital that night. So that's why I am the way I am.
That at the same time explains so many things and concerns me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Head trauma is funny.
Yeah, trauma is funny, sure. So we're here to talk about Shadowspawn. You folks are the specialists of Shadowspawn. This is not my field of topic. So anyone wants to start it with some mystery about the Shadowspawn?
I mean, you're the one that counted the nipples for a game, so I mean, you're kind of up there.
This is true.
Oh, okay, first, I only counted nipples for real people. I didn't count...
For now.
Shit, should I've counted Trolloc nipples too?
No, my game is going to be much more fun than Trolloc nipples. Though it will involve Trolloc nipples.
No, I mean, no, we're talking about the game where, like, Camille went through frame by frame.
Yes. That was a long time ago, but...
Yeah, you did. You counted nipples.
Yeah, but like not Trolloc nipples.
Yeah, but it wasn't Trolloc nipples.
No, it's just people.
That was a miss.
Wow. Trolloc erasure. Erasure.
Erasure?
Erasure.
All right, so I thought of the idea for Shadowspawn just because I think Shadowspawn are, like, really fucked up.
No kidding.
Obviously. But mostly because I've always thought Agenor was, like, my favorite of the Forsaken, even though he dies super quickly in the beginning. Sorry, spoilers. Because he's just, like, literally a genetic engineer. So we're going to talk a little bit about Agenor first. So he's basically a mad scientist with no ethics or empathy. He only cares about knowledge and how far he can push things. Somehow he's not really held in high regard by the other Chosen, even though he literally created their entire, like, army and everything, so they don't have to do anything. So I think that's fucked up. But basically he couldn't do anything in the Third Age because he didn't have any of his equipment anyway, so that's kind of probably why he died. In the Age of Legends, he was a famous biologist. But he performed a lot of unauthorized and unethical experiments, which the Hall of Servants found out about and forbade him from doing.
Unethical or just cutting edge?
Well, we're gonna get to something really quick, so I think you're gonna go with unethical.
Hopefully, if you don't go with unethical, there's gonna be judging done.
Yeah, I'm going to call law enforcement, and you know how I don't believe in law enforcement, but...
We were dropped in our heads, though. You can't hold us culpable.
So anyway, the Hall of Servants was like, please stop, and that's all they said.
Please, pretty please.
And Agenor was like, no, I'm good. So he turned to the Shadow. The first Shadow spawn he created were the Trollocs, and he killed 35 to 50 million people to create them at a rate of almost 10,000 per day.
Jeez.
Okay, I guess that's
Whoa.
a moral gray area.
So yeah, like upwards of 50 million people killed over 10 years. I don't know what the population was, but that's a lot.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, when you put up Asmodean against someone like this, it is not that much of a stretch to say Asmodean did nothing wrong. He only killed his mother.
No, he fed her to a Myrddrussy to get raped.
So he didn't kill anybody, really. I mean,
I'm sure he did, but I think Agenor does have the highest body count of any of the Forsaken.
I'm trying to think of, like, how much is 50 million? I'm like, 35 million, it's half of the population of France. So, ergo France, I guess.
so Agenor killed France.
Damn.
Half of France.
Half of France.
They said it couldn't be done.
As long as it's the part of France that doesn't have bouillabaisse, because I love bouillabaisse, so...
You love what?
Yeah, that's the important part.
Can you repeat that so I just understand actually what you're talking about?
Bouillabaisse?
Oh, fuck. Okay. Bouillabaisse?
Bouillabaisse?
Peut-être. I don't know. It's something from the south of France. You have no taste, man. Oh.
Excuse me. I love it. I love the Provence herb and tomato and orange combination. Maybe you just don't have taste.
Yeah, make a ratatouille and shut the fuck up.
That was a really bad movie.
It's from the town of Bouillabaisse, and then, they ship it over fresh, because that's how France works. They only sell things named after the city that they're made in, so...
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Well, anyways...
Am I high right now? Should I be high right now?
I'm not high. I was high last night when the election results are coming in, but I am not high right now.
That was the right time for it.
It was the right time. I was like, oh, do I need another one? Nah, it's not that bad right now, so I went to sleep.
So, what do people know about Shadow Spawn?
They're ugly.
I know Camille knows nothing. They're ugly. Okay.
You know, to the point that I don't know anything, for a long time, I thought that Greyman and Golem was the same thing.
That's kind of a fair one, though. They're both, they kind of serve similar purposes. They're like the assassin kind of type, so I don't blame you for that one.
Yeah.
They both start by
that's...
G, and that's the only thing.
Yeah, they do both start with the same letter. Good.
Word association, yeah, that's right.
I mean,
Do they start with the same letter in the French versions?
I don't know. I don't remember the French version. I've never read it.
Aha. I'm not the one who knows the least this episode. I win.
I mean, of course you know more about Shadowspan. You are a fucked up person.
Thank you.
You gotta draw inspiration from somewhere.
You're a fucked up person, Matt.
Sometimes we have our disagreements, but Camille, at the end of the day, knows that I'm an awful, fucked up person and gives me the credit.
I didn't say awful. I say fucked up.
Well, I'm extrapolating.
Okay.
So we can talk, I guess, about Shadow Spawn going down the list. We have a nice list of Trollocs, Myrddrussy, Darkhounds, the Greymen, who are boring, Jamara, Gollum, who are sexy, Drakgar, something about coffee and Forger's coffee. I don't know. So, Trollocs. They're just orcs. There's 12 bands of them. Don't know what that means, but that's what the note says. Most importantly, what I want to know about Trollocs is... Kevin.
Wow.
What inspired you to create such artwork inspired by Trolloc nipples? What was your inspiration for this Monet, this Degas?
Monet and Degas? You had to choose two French ones?
We never talk about the French artists and French culture here, and one of our hosts is French.
What culture?
Fuck you, James.
Okay, anyways, before Camille kills James, Kevin.
I cannot, I'm too far away.
I do know that, I'm pretty sure that it was S. I think you guys know S from Twitter.
Yes.
And
yes.
Melindra on Threefold Talk. I think there was just a night that one of them started up, because apparently I only joined Twitter time on Twitter around like April or May, so I haven't been here. I wasn't here at all for season 1, despite the Tweeter of Chaos rumors. My story is that I haven't been on there prior, when the season was airing, so I missed all of the Trolloc Thirst and all the active stuff that was happening at the time. So I see them post about it. I'm like, wow, that's pretty funny. I think I could heighten that. I think I could take that to the next level and really just kind of see how weird these people can get. And man, it's been a wild ride. That I think what it is I just got too much positive feedback to start off with. So it trained my monkey brain to be like, all right, every single Trolloc nipple idea you've got is a good one. They're all going to be hits. You have to act on every creative impulse in the moment, no matter how disgusted I am in the moment of making what I'm making. Someone gives me an idea, I think of an idea organically, and I'm like, all right, well, this will get 20 people or so at least kind of grossed out or laughing, or both.
And now you are the Leonardo da Vinci of nipples.
I thought you were going to say DiCaprio, and I would have taken either, but...
No.
The Leonardo DiCaprio of nipples.
I assume that you're not dating a 12-year-old, so...
No, I'm not, no. So, I appreciate the Da Vinci version, rather.
Yes, the Da Vinci of nipples. There's our episode title. Or maybe the Da Vinci of Trolloc nipples. I don't know.
Anyway...
That wouldn't get you demonetized, right? That's good. You can say the word nipple.
We're monetized.
We are unmonetized. There's
oh, that's right.
too many titles with like dicks and...
Wait, so you were on Cosmere Twitter first, weren't you?
No, I wasn't even on Twitter. I had a Twitter for like 8 years, 9 years. I just never touched it. I did start interacting a little bit with the Cosmere Twitter around the same time because I like both series anyway. Because I know that the bad Cosmere takes one. The account. I think I'd started interacting with you probably there.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if I should dox that. You can cut that part if you'd like.
No, I'm pretty open about being bad Cosmere takes.
Okay.
No, because I'm pretty sure I saw you from there first, and then
yeah,
sort of leaked your way into the Twitter of Time community.
Yeah, so it was slow going, but I mean it's been like a lot of fun. But I just had a Twitter, I just never touched it. Like I never had fun with it. I always tried to get onto it and try to get into it and have like come up with goofy posts or whatever. Just stream of consciousness stuff, basically what I do now. But there was just no one to look at it because I wasn't part of a community. I was just existing in the void kind of thing.
Oh, that's almost sad.
That is sad.
And suddenly, either you found Twitter of Time or Twitter of Time found you.
A little bit of both, yeah.
Usually Twitter of Time found you. Randomly post about the Wheel of Time and suddenly you have too many people liking your thing.
Yeah, I just kept hearing about this Kevin guy one day, and I was like, another gay. But then I found out you had kids, so...
Kid. It's just one, Yeah.
Kid. Look, they're all monsters.
They are, but man.
How old is the child?
Just turned 4, actually, on Monday, yeah.
Oh, happy belated birthday to them.
So the Kevin spawn.
He's up there. Yeah, the original Kevin spawn, yeah, honestly looks frightening like me and behaves frightening like me as well, so, fingers crossed I do better.
Oh, that'll be fun in a few years.
Do better for him. But
yeah, I don't know what all there is to talk about with Trollocs. I mean, we had the nipple thirst and the...
Oh, you sure?
I mean, I had 12 bands there. Like, you were like, I don't care about this, I don't care about this, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I don't know what those are. It's like, Trollocs don't have culture. They're all the same. They're all the same.
I know, and that's why I'm here to educate you.
I'm sorry, they have a song. You can just learn the song. The Trolloc song in this first season, it's basically the list of all the Trolloc bands.
Let's all sing the Trolloc song.
I think it's called the Trolley Song, and that's what Judy Garland sang in 1950's Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah, and she's dead, so go cry about it.
Do you know, Matt, that Judy Garland is dead?
Yes, I know. Trust me.
She cannot be in the Wheel of Time. I know this is a disappointment to you, but she's dead.
We can get her. They can get like they did with Tupac. We can get the hologram of Judy Garland.
True.
Yeah, why not?
It's true.
It's almost 2023.
A good deep fake.
See, this is why I like Kevin. Kevin enables my nonsense.
Exactly.
You two just suck the fun out of it.
And Twitter enables
Suck
mine.
the fun out. At least something's getting sucked.
Ow, James.
So anyway, there are 12 bands of Trollocs. Trollocs originally, Robert Jordan had an idea for them to keep them, or to flesh them out a little bit more. They had like different bands
Fleshy.
that were named after different... Yes, fleshy. Oh my god. Wow. I make a sucking joke and you're like, ew. But you say flesh and... no time for you.
But yeah, the names of the Trolloc bands are pretty interesting because it's like typical creature.
I mean, they're basically just like monsters from...
There's like goblin.
Yeah, there's like Afret, which is Ifrit, Al Ghul, which is Ghoul, Banshee. I mean, none of them are super inventive. It's basically just gremlins, goblins, kobolds, gnomes.
Just a little Easter egg.
Demons, djinn, gargoyles, devils, banshees, ghouls, and ifrit. He abandoned that idea, because that seemed like a lot. So, anyway, that's about enough. The Trollocs are just like foot soldiers. They're basically orcs. They're more terrifying, in my opinion.
They eat each other.
Yeah, they do eat each other.
I never really could get like a good mental picture of them. I'm glad, like, obviously the show has done wonders for a lot of that for me, but I just couldn't fully wrap my mind around what they looked like for so long, and because I would just try to mix these animals with these people, and it would just always be like a small, like 3 foot tall gremlin thing, but they're like 7 feet tall, and I'm like, I don't get the fight.
Yeah, they're like 7 to 9 feet tall.
Yeah, so my mental picture just could never wrap my head around it, so I'm glad that the show was able to fix that.
I mean, I'm not saying you guys are fake fans.
I'm a fake fan.
But you are saying that.
Because I would never say that.
If you're going to talk about the book covers, man, that is not...
They're about to pull out their Juniper book collection of hardback editions.
No, I can't find it right now. I'm mad.
I've got my reference documents if you want them. I can go get the book. The big white book, I've got it.
Yeah, the Big White Book of Bad Art. Like, that is what I was thinking of, because that's what I used, that and the comics. The comics were a really decent representation.
I would check my Wheel of Time books, but they are all in the basement in storage, unfortunately.
That's where I am too, in the basement. Not his basement, but maybe.
Yeah, that's not the Big White Book, Camille. That is the revised White Book.
Yeah, but like the big white book doesn't exist anymore, okay?
Oh, it doesn't? Oh, wow.
No, it was remade.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But like what's inside is the same thing. It's the same art.
But I want the ugly version.
Yeah. You want the version Kevin has, but I have that one, but in hardcover. I don't know where it is.
Anyway, who cares? Yeah, my mental picture was... I literally just show you the same picture, but whatever.
I didn't see. Sorry, I was getting the book.
Yeah, but like, yeah, my mental picture was basically a Tauren in World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's fair, actually, yeah.
I thought that was pretty close. But the show gave quite a lot of diversity in their faces and this kind of thing. And I thought they did a good job in having an orc type of monster without looking like orcs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Right. Okay, so now we're going over anything else on Trolloc.
Oh, one last thing, actually. So just had to be sure. So, what is the hottest version of Trolloc for you guys?
The bull one.
Let me come up with a different...
Timmy is regretting everything now.
Yes, I'm not going to answer that question because first thing first, brave of you to think that I recognize any of the Trollocs.
I mean, look, don't be Are you shaming furries?
Yes.
We're not kink shaming, we're kink
Yes?
guilting. Okay, we're just kink guilting, not shaming.
My favorite thing is I don't kink shame, I kink ask why.
That is also a fair one, yeah. I like.
So there's wolf, eagle, boar, goat, and bear Trollocs, among others. But I guess of those 5, I would have to say the wolf ones are the hottest.
Okay. All right, those are fair answers. And the default for giving no answer is bird. So you like the bird Trollocs. There you go.
If you say so.
Timmy gets the bird Trolloc.
Trust me, you're not missing out. Those beaks.
That.
Well, what about you, Kevin? You have to answer the question too.
I feel like I've looked at the one with the ram's horns more than any, because that's like the iconic Trolloc nipple one, like next to Daniel Henney. The one on his left is the bird one that I always think of. But
next to Daniel Henney? Why are you putting Trolloc nipple in the same sentence as Daniel Henney?
Well, that's where the picture comes from. Is that photo of him behind the scenes with the 2 practical effect Trollocs?
Yes,
So those
true.
are yeah.
For those of you listening, this is a fantastic opportunity to flex your creative writing muscles and give us your very best Daniel Henney /Lan Mandragoran and Trolloc crossover /fic.
No, do not send us that.
Yes.
Is that your best? Is that
the best you can do? But no.
I would prefer that didn't happen.
No, I'm telling our listeners to give them our best Lan Trolloc /fic.
It's a call to action.
Moving on to Myrddrussy.
Call to action.
I mean, I still think, I wish I had a giant poster version of this, but of the Moraine holding the Trollocs head. That's still my favorite poster.
Yes.
Okay.
She actually doesn't do that in the show at any point, right? Or does she?
No, it's a promotional.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that, actually. I haven't seen that. I like that a lot.
It's, oh, great. Now I give you more.
Oh, shit, there's a nipple in it.
Oh, there is.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm enhancing. Oh, shit.
I'm scrolling into...
I apologize to everyone.
It's, yep.
Zoom, enhance.
Lower left corner.
Right-click, save as. Okay.
Is there land nipple, though? There is no land nipple. Nor is there land booty.
New
I
nip.
really have regrets about...
.jpeg.
Nips of time. See, it wasn't just a Trolloc.
New nip just dropped.
It wasn't just a Trolloc head. I mean, she wasn't carrying just the tip. She was carrying the whole thing, so...
Yeah, she was... I like that she was literally just dragging the entire thing along. She was like, no, Lan, I got this. Honey, sweetie.
It's my toy.
It's fine.
I get to play with the nipples.
Okay.
Myrddrussy.
All right.
So,
Myrddrussy.
moving on to Myrddrussy.
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 Smack that.
Okay, Myrddrussies.
Myrddrussies.
Smack that Myrddrussy.
Smack that Myrddrussy.
Oh, I just went to Amazon to buy it, and apparently I bought it.
A Myrddrussy?
No, the poster.
Oh, you gotta let me know, man.
Wait, you can buy the poster?
Yeah, they're all on Amazon.
This is a call for all of our listeners to create your very own Myrddrussy as a fleshlight and sell it on Amazon.
No.
And submit your best creations to us.
Why do you want so many curse things?
So, Myrddrussy...
Yes, Myrddrussy.
Myrddrussy are one of the things that Agenor did not intend to create. They are throwbacks of Trolloc offspring that take more after their human counterparts because Trollocs are like human-animal hybrids. The theory is that I wrote down 5%, but I think it's 3%.
It's actually, I think it's the same percentage as the channeler population.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, Kevin. Shut the fuck up.
I know, I wanted to cut you off. Someone hadn't done it in a while, so.
God. So about 5% of Trolloc offspring are Myrddrussy, and the theory is that the ones that are Myrddrussy have the same trait that allow humans to channel the one power, but because they're evil, it manifests differently. I hadn't heard of this theory prior to actually doing research for this episode, so I kind of really like it. I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
It's a fun one.
Do you think they're channeling the one power but tainted, or the true power?
No, I don't think they're channeling any kind of power. I think it's just the people, the Trollocs that could channel, or the humans that could channel, that are part of that population just become Myrddrussy.
Oh, instead of becoming Trollocs.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
So how do they bond the Trollocs, or do their wants?
I mean, they get their powers from the Dark One.
Which is the true power.
Yeah, but it's not really using the one power, or it's not really using a power.
Is it though?
It's not really your channeling abilities. It's not every power is related to channeling. Like, main power is not about channeling.
That's true.
Min power, activate. But they have magic cloaks, they do shadow transportation, they show up misty in reflections. Agenor apparently really wanted to know how they worked, but could not figure it out.
Wow.
So I think that's really interesting that the foremost biologist and geneticist of the time could not figure out how Myrddrussy worked.
The Frankenstein of Wheel of Time.
He couldn't find the Myrddrussy.
Yeah, maybe he should have fucked one.
I said he couldn't find it, Couldn't find North Harbor.
Yeah, if only Agenor had fucked the Myrddrussy.
If only.
He couldn't find the Myrddrussy.
Anyway.
So, and they also have acid blood, and...
Which is interesting.
That'll be a good trip.
The Dark One chose a Myrddrussy to be its avatar on the world, so that's cool.
Regarding the acid blood, so that's a question that basically another podcast I was listening to was mentioning that, but there's so many references to a wolf, biting Myrddrussy and wanted to, get their blood and this kind of thing. Do you think that a wolf that would cut Myrddrussy throat would get acid face because of the acid blood? Or do they have some sort of protection?
I think they would know how to... bite it in just the right way, so they would probably get some blood, but I mean, it's just with...
We like the biting.
They can wipe it off.
If they hit that artery, though, oof.
Yeah.
Oh, is that acid blood? Is the acid the only corrupt metal, or is that corrupting? Is that acid for everything?
It's usually talking about blades, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just corrosive. Maybe it's not acidic, it's just corrosive to metal, maybe?
Maybe.
Do we know the pH level of other Myrddrussy fluids?
Probably pretty basic. Yeah, I think they'd be pretty base, yeah.
Camille, don't sigh. This is important questions. We are interrogating the nuances.
Are they important questions?
Yes, Shadow Spawn. We came here to talk Shadow Spawn, and I'm asking the questions that matter in a fair and balanced way to present all sides of the Shadow Spawn biology. So.
Okay.
Okay. That's James for I Give Up.
So there was also, it seems like they refused to die until sunset. Wasn't that a question that Twitter of Chaos asked in a poll and like for Halloween?
I don't know. I don't attempt to decode those messages.
Yeah, that was like the second one. It was worded weirdly too, like almost like confusingly. Like you could misinterpret it to be like if the Myrddrussy kills someone. It's like it was weirdly worded, but yeah, at sunset is like it's like a throwback to like what is the other mythical beast or monster that dies at sunset? There must be some I can't think of.
I mean, it's sort of like a reverse of vampires, because in original lore, vampires don't turn to dust in the sun. In Dracula, he can walk out in the sunlight. He just doesn't have his powers like he does at nighttime. So vampires, their power is enhanced at nighttime at sunset, whereas they are only killable after sunrise. So it seems like maybe an inversion of that, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay. Anything else on Myrddrussy?
I feel like every time you say anything else on a specific creature, we're afraid of what's going to be the answer.
I'm afraid. I am terrified.
Okay, well, next we're going to go to Darkhounds, which is a safe space because I don't believe, well, at least I'm speaking for myself, we are not furries here. Therefore, Darkhounds are less fuckable than the other Dark Friends and Shadow Spawn. So this should be a fairly tame part of the episode.
This is my I have many regrets face.
Again, just guilting, not shaming.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you want to have sex with the Darkhounds...
No, please, no. Don't continue that. Like, let's...
Cut that.
No, I mean, I don't care about cutting or not cutting anymore. I'll see that whenever I do the post-pro of that. But yes, please, move on.
Anyway, I was writing about Darkhounds, and I was like puppers, because they're puppies. And they have poison blood and saliva, and they don't leave any marks on soft ground, but they do leave prints on stone. They have silver eyes, which I did not remember at all. They're impossible to outrun. They have packs of 10 to 12 normally, but up to 50. Apparently there's like super Darkhounds that can only be killed by balefire. Otherwise they like liquefy, pool together, and reform if chopped to pieces. I don't know what scene that was, but I don't remember that.
Me either.
Me neither.
I think it's one of those told, not shown things.
Well, I wonder if it has to do... Because there were Darkhounds at the... I don't know if it was the Shadow Rising, but when the Aiel were attacked and Rand started using balefire.
I thought that was Fires of Heaven at the beginning.
Yeah, it's...
Hell if I know. They all blend together for me.
You're the expert. You're the real fan.
And they can consume the soul of a wolf and it'll become a Darkhound, which I thought was cute.
That was cute.
Cute.
I'm not a dog person. I am much more a cat person than a dog person, but I would totally have a Darkhound for a pet,
Shame.
They would be good at defending the home.
Oh, I hate dogs too, so...
What the fuck? I'm quitting this podcast.
I hate dogs.
I love corgis, but other than that,
Oh, that's the worst type of dog.
Whoa.
Sorry for any corgis lover.
That is the cutest type of dog.
Oh, no.
Anyways, I'm not a dog person, but Darkhounds are really cute and really useful. Like, you could use them to protect your home, to make your enemies disappear. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about Darkhounds other than I think they're cute, and I would totally have one, especially if it was the kind that could only be killed by a balefire.
It's a big one, then.
Yeah. It would have to be groomed every week because I don't like dog smell.
Oh, they smell.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, dogs are the worst.
I think the silver eyes is interesting. I didn't know that either, and it's probably just like the contrast, like the golden eyes parent thing or whatever, gold and silver. I guess it's probably the only connection there, but that's interesting. I that's not a detail I remember anyone ever talking about as much.
Yeah. No, I mean, I I don't know. I wish they featured Dark Hounds more. I can only really remember like 2 scenes with Dark Hounds.
Samael had them.
Yeah, they don't come into play a lot.
I have 3.
Yeah.
Like, because there's the Great Hunt. No, there's the Dragon Reborn after Elian. There's Fire Heaven. There's also during the Slug, because at some point they, like, I think it's Perrin who smelled some Dark Hound going around the camp or something like that. They are looking, the Dark Hound are looking for something. I don't remember how it ends.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're really cool and they could have been utilized a little bit more, but also there's a whole bunch of Shadow Spawn, so I get it.
Yeah, where was the army of Darkhounds to go against the army of wolves in the last battle? What was going on there? Just poor planning.
That would have been fun.
Yeah.
So it seems like he accidentally made Dark Hounds a little too OP. It seems like if some of them can only be killed by Balefire, like, I don't know, when you're creating fictional monsters, they have to have more weaknesses than just, like, Godfire. I mean, they've got to have a bit more than that.
Well, I mean, that's only certain ones that can be killed by Balefire, like they're super strong ones. But yeah, I mean, even then, really only one of the easiest ways to kill them, or surefire ways to kill them, is Balefire.
Well, good thing Rand is Balefire happy.
Yeah.
I wonder how quickly after they do that does the wolf soul pop into Talai Runriad and just be like, oh, hey guys, I'm finally free, I'm no longer a Darkhound soul. Or if it's stuck that way forever.
Yeah, I don't think that happens. I think, like, they're just permanently not going to make it into the wolf dream.
Sadness.
That sucks.
Life's hard sometimes.
Well, life's hard and then you die.
So the Gray Man, they were not actually created by Agenor, but they are considered Shadow Spawn still, kind of. They are basically just men who have not just, like, pledged their soul to the Dark One, like Dark Friends have, but they have given their soul to the Dark One, so they kind of, like, lose their ability to be perceived, and they're basically just really good assassins.
Yeah.
Probably unpopular opinion. I think they're kind of boring. Like, at first they were, like, cool, but then I was like, well, golems are more cool, and we'll talk about those in a bit. And, like, Greymen are just, like, it's just, like, the loser in high school that no one paid attention to, who could basically, like, do whatever he wanted to because no one ever paid attention to him. So
I think one thing that would have been interesting is to have a character that we know becoming a Grey Man.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, or to see how that process worked. Like, I assume they have to go to Shale Ghul.
Yeah.
I would assume.
That makes sense.
Because that would have been cool to kind of, like, see how that worked.
didn't they only appear like twice in the series? Like, I know that there's one in The Great Hunt.
Oh no, there's more than that.
They like pop up every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah, they appeared quite a bit, but they're pretty unremarkable.
Yeah, they're forgettable enough that you forgot.
At least that's on brand.
It's just the problem.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, they're living their truth. So now we're going to go on to my favorite.
The Blight Dicks.
Which we just kind of did an episode about.
Nice.
The Jumara, the Blight Dicks.
Did you see Heidi Jumara?
I did.
Oh, so excited.
What?
Heidi Klum as a worm.
Yeah, I turned her into Jumara a while back.
Yeah.
I gave her Trolloc tits too, but...
Wait, did you do that? Did you do Art of Heidi Klum with Trolloc tits?
Hell yeah, I did. Diving through the blight. I'll just pull it up. Let me get Twitter up real quick.
I'm okay not seeing that, thank you.
No, you missed it, obviously. I got it. I got you, don't worry.
I want to see it. I want to see Heidi Klum with Trolloc nips. Why are you so intent on ruining fun with Heidi Klum worm Trolloc nips?
So, but James, do you know the reference or not?
No, I don't know what they're talking about.
It's I don't know who Heidi Klum is, so I don't know about that, but it's just some celebrity would basically disguise themselves as a worm for Halloween, and
Yeah, she went as a worm to Halloween. Because of that, would you love me if I was still a worm?
Oh, yes.
So is that what Heidi Klum was dressed as?
Yeah, it was
Yes.
really, really grotesque.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Good job.
Thank you.
Great. Oh, wow, you got a lot of likes and retweets on that.
The one without nipple was nice.
I don't know how you guys missed it. It was a hot one.
Okay.
It would have been hotter if it was like Orlando Bloom as a worm with Trolloc nipples, but, you know.
That's true. Well, you can't pick and choose.
Yeah, but like as a worm, you don't recognize anyone who's inside the costume. So who cares?
Could be anyone.
You can just say it's all on the room inside. Anyway, So Jumara, what else do we want to say about except that they're big dicks and that Demandred really is really scared of Ron in Rivers of Soul, and yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just really traumatized by that.
Traumatized by what?
Heidi Klum.
It's pretty bad, right?
I just don't know why you exist.
Who, Kevin?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't make her dress up like that.
Okay, I'm just saying that the Heidi Klum Trolloc Nips Blight picture is like Starry Night of Trolloc art. And if you can't appreciate it, that just means that you lack culture.
That's fine.
So
yeah, the Jumara are terrifying, and they are probably the most deadly of all of the Shadow Spawn, even though no one really knows what they are. Demandred made a comment that he thinks Agenor created them just to see what kind of fucked up creature he could create, which I think is really admirable.
good for him.
Mm-hmm.
On point for Agenor.
So, and the adult Jumara are 100 feet long. They have tendrils, super deadly.
Tendrils.
Tendrils and 100 feet long. You could do a lot with that.
Is there a picture of one in that big book? Because I feel like
No.
that's another one too. That when I read River of Souls, I imagined like a dragon, like a worm, like a WYRM is what I was thinking of. But
Kevin, what you should do is find a picture of a Jumara with like all of its tentacles and like put Trolloc nips on the ends of each tentacle and like give it Trolloc nips for like eyes and stuff like that.
No.
That would be so awesome.
No.
Not right now, Camille. You wouldn't have to look at it. I'm just...
not now. Yeah, eventually.
I mean, art like that
So that
takes time.
They're like centipedes. Okay.
I am sorry to Twitter of time for what you're about to...
yeah, they're like centipedes with a bunch of...
Yes. Why not put nipples on the end of each of those? You know?
I can see it. Yeah.
It can make for some really classy art. It could go in the Minneapolis Art Institute.
I mean, this one is basically just a nipple. Like, this one just has a nipple mouth.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a nipple. All right. I know one when I see one.
So next.
Okay, Camille's getting tired. So the next is the Golem, and not the precious one, nor the Pokemon one, but the sexy one.
But the sexy one.
I do not remember my Pokemon anymore.
The Golem were created, and there's only 6 of them, 3 males and 3 females, because... God forbid we have some non-binary representation in Channeler Assassins. God forbid. Could have been 2 and 2 and 2.
Lazy.
They were created to destroy Channelers, but they were immune to the 1 power. Kind of similar to Myrddrussy, they can sense the 1 power being used within several miles and can detect a Channeler even if they're not holding the power at about 50 paces, which seems to be more powerful than what the Aes Sedai can sense.
Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. They have no bones and no skeletal system, and they are the only shadow spawn that can survive going through a gateway.
Just like me.
I see you didn't read all of the notes, James. You said that they have no bones and they can squeeze through a crack in the door, but I added, what else can they squeeze into? And I think this is a question that bears a little bit of investigation.
Yeah, let me call Harriet up real quick.
Hey, if you have her number...
Let me just grab Maria. Let me go DM Maria. So, yes, they have no bones. I'm sure they could squeeze into whatever they wanted to. They could squeeze into your Myrddrussy.
Ew.
It's fine.
What about like a graphene sheet width slit in like a wall? Can he slide through like a single atom width?
I mean, he squeezed through like a keyhole or something, or the door crack of a door, so...
That's a bit bigger than the atom, though.
Okay, look, I am not in charge. I don't make the rules.
I heard you had answers. I just came for answers.
And they live on fresh blood and they're their victims limb to limb. So that's nice.
See, that's sexy.
Poor Herodfell.
Yeah.
R.I.P. in peace, Herodfell.
In pieces, yeah. Rip in pieces for sure.
You know, I've made a name for myself on Twitter of time shipping Matt and Galad, but really, I think the best ship out there is Matt and the Golem. I mean, they had a perfect enemies to lovers trope. It's right there looking at you.
You know, weirdly, I am sure that exists.
Probably. It probably does.
Really? I hope not.
So,
someone give me faith in humanity and tell me no.
So our listeners, give us some of that fanfic.
Call to action.
Okay, we have 4 shadow spawns left.
Yes, we have the drag car, which are basically vampires.
They only show up twice, right?
Yeah, they show up in the Eye of the World, and then they show up in...
It's a great hunt, because that's what attack Moraine.
Yeah.
Aren't they in the illustration for Lord of Chaos?
They're mentioned at other times, but just in passing.
See, they're so underutilized because they're so cool.
I don't think they're that cool. I think they're boring.
Oh, they're flying vampires.
Oh, wait. No, there was one in Cold Rock's Hold in The Shadow Rising, too.
Sure.
When Rand makes it rain, there was a drag car in there, and I think it like, kills a maiden, or... No, it sucks the soul out of a maiden, I think. I only know because I did the audiobook recently. But
Okay.
I'll take Kevin's word for it. He's a real fan.
Yeah, no, my notes literally say, okay, they're doe-eyed vampires, who cares? Hypnotizing ability, drain souls, woo vampires. And then Matt, go ahead and tell everybody what you added.
No, I want you to say it. I want to hear you say it.
Suck me, drag cadaddy.
Yes. There. Was it that hard?
nope.
No, I am very flaccid right now.
That's TMI. Okay.
You asked, you get the answer.
Cathar. I don't know what those are.
What is that?
Cathar, they're mentioned in passing. The only Samael mentions that they live in nests. That is literally all we know about Cathar.
So they could be snakes or birds or reptiles.
There was something about, like, I don't know, I think they're murder hornets.
Interesting.
I've never even heard the name of, like, I don't, like, I'm sure that, they say it at a key, very crucial point.
Oh no, yeah, I just made this one up just to fuck with you.
Yeah, it just says a pestilent creature created by Agenor finding a nest of Cathar was very dangerous. That's all it says in the little black book. But
Little black book.
Little black book.
Very little.
The big black book.
well, I mean, if you have it side by side with this, it's little.
No, I'm just saying little black book used to be a euphemism for your list of booty calls.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
I'm just dumb.
Next one are forgers. So the forgers I think are really interesting because they were literally created just to make the Thakandar blades. They aren't really alive. They're just man-shaped entities. If they travel too far from Sheol Ghul, they turn to dust.
And the best part of waking up is forgers in your cup of tea. See, classic commercial jingles.
The brand deal's back on, guys.
It is. What if Forgers were to sponsor us? I mean, after that, it would be fantastic. We can get free coffee.
So here's the thing. I did a majority of these notes here because I love Shadowspawn. Agenor is my favorite. I love the Shadowspawn. I didn't bother reading Mass Edition, so when I saw that, I just kind of, shut down mentally and emotionally.
Relatable.
Because I was just reading my notes and being like, oh, yeah. And then I'm like, but I didn't write. Oh.
Look, it is up to each of us to, whenever we can, contribute to the writing of an episode, and I was making my contributions.
So the last one is Zomaran.
The last one are the Zomaran, which are basically just beautiful zombies. They're mindless and obedient, and they can read minds.
Where are they?
Can we replace Matt by Zomaran?
I wish we could.
Mindless and obedient.
They're the servants in the Dark Friend Social.
Oh, okay.
Huh, interesting.
Oh, really?
Ishmael infinitely prefers them because they, you can literally say something in front of them and they won't remember it. But they obey, basic commands, and they can read minds, which I thought was really interesting.
Call me Ishmael. Sorry, I was...
What?
It's a Moby Dick reference.
Oh, Dick.
If you were cultured, James, you would know that.
But yeah, the Zomaran are just zombies, but pretty.
But not like Grendel zombies. They're like a different subset of things, yeah.
No, because those were humans.
Yeah.
She just, shoved compulsion on to the point where it, broke their minds.
Okay, so Zomaran.
Somehow, the Dark Friend Social, I thought it was just human under compulsion.
Me too, yeah.
I didn't realize that was another type of Shadowspawn.
Interesting. Maybe they've had their souls stolen or something. Or, have been kerfuffled in a way.
No, they were created, they were made during the Age of Legends specifically to serve.
The edging of legends. So Zomoron, beautiful zombies, mindless and obedient, can read minds. I don't think they're beautiful, but it sort of brings to mind those MAGA dolls, those women that like sang the Trump song or something, but like they tick all those boxes except for the beautiful part. But they probably think they're beautiful.
I didn't catch half of your phrase, and I don't even want to ask.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So
I'm just insulting MAGA people.
I know.
Zomara is always slender, beautiful, young appearing, and always smiling with golden hair and blank, dead eyes. Oh no, they are black too. Blank, dead, black, empty eyes.
Oh, it's just like me too, yeah.
Yeah, they wear tight white breeches and flowing white blouses and move with disturbing grace.
So are they made from human too, or are they just created from something else?
I don't know.
It says human-like.
Because do you think that whenever they're starting experimenting and creating like Trollocs, Myrddrussy, and Zomaran, they were like, okay, how do we pick out which human is going to become what?
I mean, there's a note in the wiki just saying that they were designed for absolute obedience without any capacity to betray or be bought.
So the bottom became Zomaran and the rest became Trolloc?
I don't know.
I did not see that one coming.
Yeah. No, I'm not seeing anything like interesting here about like how they were created.
Oh, because the Trollocs are the bears. Oh.
It's true.
Ah.
Yeah, so yeah, the Zomar. Oh yeah, let's just classify these into gays. So
Yeah.
yeah, so the Zomaran are the twinks.
Mm-hmm.
The Kafar are basically just a lesbian in their cottage, like far away from everything.
No one knows about them, and they live in nests like lesbians.
We never see them.
The bisexuals are the gray men because everybody ignores them and doesn't see that they exist. They're invisible.
Yeah. The dark hounds are just the wolves, which are basically like or otters, maybe.
The puppy players.
I'm sorry, yeah, duh, the furries.
Oh, then golems would be the pansexuals then, yeah, because, yeah.
Myrddrussy. I don't know, what would the Myrddrussy be?
The Doms? I feel like they're like the Doms.
The BDSM gays.
Yeah, like the heavy BDSM.
Yeah.
Jumaras, I don't know. Maybe Jumaras are like power bottoms. Like they look very unassuming, but they're terrifying and they know what they want.
No, they're just the sex toys. They're just
just another hole.
The drag car are definitely the feral emo gays.
Sometimes all you want to do is cosplay as a whole. Okay?
That's true.
Oh, Camille was drinking water when I said that. That was a bad decision to make, wasn't that, Camille?
Oops. Sorry, Camille.
Sometimes you just want to cosplay as a whole. Look.
Title of the episode.
I like that one, or another. I don't know. So the golem, so they're high-end VIP.
They're like the pansexual because they're the cooler bisexual.
The golems are the power finance gays who work on Wall Street and they're married to women and they have their fuck boys for after work.
And the Dragar are Matt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, do we want to move to the game?
Do you, Camille? Do you?
I don't, but it's half past midnight for me. So.
In a game that Kevin will love, because he's good people, and that Camille and James will hate because they're both boring, we are going to rank the Shadow Spawn by their fuckability.
Oh no.
Oh, that's fine.
I like that.
I'm going to give you 5 Shadow Spawn.
We can't just do all of them?
No, that's too many. It's too many, and it is late. So, okay. So, we will rank from the least fuckable to the one that you would most like to bone. And your choices are Trollocs, Myrddrussy, Jamara, Golem, and the drag car.
I'm glad you did not put the Dark Hounds because we already had a Please Don't Fuck the Cat episode. So,
we don't kink shame, but no furries tonight. Sorry for our furry fans, but no.
Oh my god, no. I am like genuinely bothered by the amount of furry dislike here. Furries are wonderful people.
I mean, there's a difference between being a furry and actually fucking an animal. That's not the same thing.
That is also true.
Yeah, there's bestiality and then there's furries.
Let's draw the line in the sand right now. They are not the same.
We support furries here at Queers of Time, but do not fuck the cat.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so James, you go first.
I mean, this one's pretty easy. Can I start at the most fuckable?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Most fuckable is Golem, just because, I mean, they're the most human-like, and they don't have any bones whatsoever, so that would be useful. Then we're gonna go with Myrddrussy, because I like a little bit of pain, not a lot of pain, but we'll find out.
As long as they don't go down, it's fine.
Trollocs would be next, I guess, and then I guess the drug car, and then Jumara.
No justification for those last three, huh?
I mean, okay, so Trollocs, I mean, they come in a wide variety. I like all men's. All of the ones we see in the books are men. Because the females... oh, yeah. Fun fact. The females just enjoy being pregnant.
Oh, female what?
The female Trollocs just enjoy being pregnant.
What?
So they're constantly pregnant.
What? What? This book was written by a man. Who ever enjoy being pregnant?
Maybe it's some pseudo-feminist commentary about how only monstrous women only ever want to be pregnant as the source of their purpose. So maybe Robert Jordan was more woke than you gave him credit for.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Drug car, I guess because they're the most humanoid, and then Jumara.
I'm surprised your drag car is so low in the list.
Yeah, me too.
I probably would put them, like, right after the golem.
I mean, honestly, like, the fact... I wish Zomaran were in here, but I would also... I think that would be kind of rapey, because they couldn't really consent. So, it's good that Zomaran aren't in here. Okay, I'm done. That's my ranking.
This is why I included only 5. Okay, Camille, you're next.
Wait, what was the 5 again? The 5th one? There was Trolloc, Myrddrussy.
Trollocs, Myrddrussy, Jumara, Golem, Drakkar.
Jumara. Okay. I think it's gonna be Golem, Drakkar, Myrddrussy, Trollocs, Jumara. From the most humanoid to the...
We haven't seen Lady Trollop nipples, though.
Yeah, but still. It's half beast.
They're too busy being pregnant.
Yeah.
They're not on the front lines. That's why they like to be pregnant. It's just because they don't have to go on the fights for the,
it's true.
The dark one. They're just, they can just hang back at the camp, chop up the person for the cook pot,
Uh-huh. Stay in the Trolloc kitchen where they belong. Poor Camille.
Anyway.
Okay, Kevin. Rank your shadow spawn by fuckability.
I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking hard about this, and
I'm glad. So hard.
I'm going to start from the bottom.
That's the way to do it. It's the way to do it.
All right, so I'm going to say 5th, Myrddrussy. Least fuckable, Myrddrussy.
What? Okay, so that means Jumara is not 5th.
That mouth is not getting anywhere near me.
I mean, I get where he's coming from. I get it.
I'm just saying that I've got needs, and that Myrddrussy cannot meet them. So
very fair.
So the 4th would be the Golem, mostly because not enough cushion for the pushing. It's just a kind of a breeze in the wind, like a leaf kind of blowing in the breeze. Just what are you gonna do? There's no friction.
And they don't have bones, so they don't have a lot of hard places to, anchor yourself, do they?
They're not allowed in the bone zone without bones. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. The bone zone, I love that. The bone zone. Let's let they're not allowed into the bone zone. Title of the episode.
I'm sorry to say, but from how penis works, that means you don't need a bone to get hard.
Yeah.
You're damn right. But
this is fiction to me.
You need blood though.
Yeah, but like you're all talking about like friction and too mushy and this kind of thing, but like a golem can be...
Let Kevin live his truth.
I guess the golem could contort itself into a tiny little like pocket golem pussy kind of thing, but I don't know.
Golemacy.
Or it could sound you.
Yeah, I guess, but like, there's more to life than sounding. That's all I'm saying.
Excellent. So we gotta let Kevin name one of Kevin's mini gems. Okay, so what's your number 3?
Number 3 is gonna be this is a surprise. It's gonna be the drag car. I thought that was gonna be a little bit higher in the end, but I just didn't think that.
Why have you still not said the Jumara? Where is the Jumara?
It's coming, just like me. And the drag car, the drag car I think is a good middle ground. It's got the wings. I feel like the wings are like they're almost a turnoff. They're like on that weird middle ground where I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but like at the same time, I don't really want that like warm embrace of like the arms and the wings. It just kind of feels like I feel like their wings are going to be fleshy. Like they're not going to be like,
we likes it fleshy, precious.
I don't know. I feel like they're just not going to be the right texture. So I'm just hedging my bets with the drag car wings. It's just not working out for me. 2.
All right.
Are you gonna put the Jumara first?
Let him speak.
No, I mean, the Trollocs obviously have to be first, given your obsession with their nipples.
That is correct. Jumara is number 2. Jumara is number 2 because every hole is a goal, you know?
You don't even know if they have holes.
We saw the picture. They've got the one.
They've got lots of them, probably. Those tentacles probably got some at the end of them. Maybe.
It's like a smaller version of like the worms from Dune. It's like that, but
Okay, all of our listeners at Quiz of Time, your homework for the week is to email Harriet and ask her how many holes the Jumara have.
If anybody does that, I will find them and kill them. I swear to God.
Bonus points if someone goes onto Reddit and asks Brandon Sanderson which dark friend is the most or which status spawn's the most fuckable.
I think he'd think about it too.
You know who would get a kick out of that? Maria, after she's had a little bit of wine.
Who's Maria? I don't know who Maria is.
What the fuck, Matt, you're out of that podcast.
Maria Simons.
How do you not know who Maria is? You were at JordanCon last year.
She's Robert Jordan's assistant. She is literally in charge. She is basically an encyclopedia.
Okay, well then ask Maria how many holes the Jumara has and how many of those holes are fuckable.
She would know.
Yeah, she would. Exactly.
She would slap me.
And you're into that, so just ask her.
You know what? Matt, I dare you, if she comes to JordanCon, I dare you to ask her that.
She's at JordanCon every year. She will be at JordanCon.
I won't remember who that is by the time it comes around.
I will find that podcast and send you it, and send it to you right before JordanCon and dare you to do that.
I'll be there. I'll follow up. I'll make sure it's remembered.
Yay.
Number 1 is Trolloc, of course. Yeah, it's just, it's so familiar. You got to put the most familiar at the top. I've spent a lot of time looking at those supple Trolloc bodies with the sprouting hairs and the very firm and veiny pecs and whatnot. And I feel like, if I think about home,
running your hands across the pecs.
Yeah, if I think about home, I'm thinking about those guys. So, may as well just put them at number 1 on the list. Number 1 on the bullet. All Trollocs.
See, this is why we love Kevin.
Do we?
I mean,
sometimes. My closest friends love me as much as they hate me. So,
Okay.
That sounds understandable.
And I don't honestly.
But we're still happy you came here today.
Yeah, no, this is a great episode.
It came at the expense of Kimmy and James's sanity, but that's what made it better. That's what made it all worth it.
I mean, I didn't think the game itself was that. I know Matt still has to go, but I don't think the game itself is terrible. I think Kevin's rationality, rationale. Yeah, I think that was fucked. But
you're right, yeah.
Well, why else would I have done this? That's exactly why I did this.
Anyway, Matt, what is your answer?
Number 5 is Jumara, because anyone who's a size queen just hasn't really experienced something that's just too big, and the Jumara is too big, simply. I wish the Jumara luck, but so Jumara at number 5. Number 4, I'm with Kevin in ranking the Myrddrussy pretty low because, I don't know what those teeth have been. I mean, there's too many of them. Do they brush the teeth? I mean, I don't know. And a man has needs, and like Kevin said, the Myrddrussy just cannot fulfill those needs. Number 3. Oh gosh, this is hard. This is difficult. I'm actually going to rank the Golem number 3. I thought I was going to rank the Golem number 1. Because they can squeeze into any space. But, cushion for the push, and Kevin's logic won me over,
I don't understand that. They can literally get hard in a moment's...
No, it's like you do a thrust and they go...
Do you think when they're stabbing people, they're just like jelly arms?
Yes.
If they are in the throes of orgasmic pleasure, what if they just turn into a puddle? Then you're just there, laying on top of a puddle of skin. And that's not very fun, is it? No, it's not. That's what I thought. So... Number 2 is the drag car. I love my feral vampire emo boys, but I don't know, because if you're on a date with one, they could like bring you, you're on a date, you just had a nice dinner of humans, villagers that you've put into a pot, and the drag car is bringing you over Shadar Lagoth, and you're just like having a nice view. So maybe I would romance the drag car. I think the drag car is the one that you would settle down with because you could always see new sights and have new adventures with your drag car husband. But as for most fuckable, I think I gotta give it to the Trollocs too. Just thinking about their muscled bodies and the swords and the axes and the spears that they wield. Those broad shoulders.
Anyway,
James, you look terrified.
No, I'm trying to find the specific Ogloff. I don't know if anybody reads Ogloff. It's a web comic that's very, very dirty. Very fantasy, it's basically porn, but there is one comic in there where like a woman asks for her tits to be squeezed during sex or something, and then they like, you squeeze them and then they start being all like gelatinous and like squishing between the fingers and stuff, and that's what I thought of when you were talking about Golem.
Like a stress ball?
Yeah, like a stress ball.
It's a stress pussy.
That was the title.
my boobies urges from hearing that.
Well, Kevin, where can people find you on social media?
You can usually find me at Grade K Angus Beef, the highest quality beef, the highest quality Trolloc nipple content. I'm scattered across, we love beef here. And I'm scattered across other things. There's like a link tree on my Twitter bio, since that's where most people are going to find me these days. I make a lot of stuff, but I don't do it for anybody, and I also don't do it for attention, so watch it if you feel like it, but I don't really care if people watch my stuff, so that's whatever.
You've got a podcast, too.
I do. It's called The Kevin Podcast and Friends, and I talk to people, usually friends, about, I think, James, you said this once about, like, it's like you talk ideas into existence almost, so, like, it's like a show where I just kind of sit people down, we talk about, like, things they're passionate about, and then I get them talking long enough until, like, the weird kind of funny convo stuff happens, and then that becomes like a half-hour episode. But it's not anyone knows, because they're just people I know. So like, there's no buy-in. I guess knowing me is like a buy-in, but like it's so specifically by me for me that I can't promote it because it's unpromotable. But that's okay. Just like me, I'm a brand risk left, right, and center. So
the unpromotable Kevin.
That's true.
Well, do we have anything else before I do our outro?
No, please get this over with.
Go ahead.
Thanks for having me.
We are very glad from having you.
Thank you for coming, Kevin, and coming again and again in the course of the episode. We absolutely loved it.
I hate you, Matt. I hate you.
So, to our listeners, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Queers of Time podcast. If you liked our show, please give us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Queers of Time and our Discord server. If you're able, we'd love to have your support through Patreon. We've got a lot of nice benefits there, and this helps us cover the costs of producing the podcast. Thank you, and have a great week.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.
They do trade blows. I don't know if you notice this when you're editing, because I assume that you do the bulk of the editing. How often they're trading back and forth and being grossed out at each other, like, why would you say that? Oh man, how could you do this? And then just back and forth like that. So.
Yes, that's pretty much the podcast.
I like how Butch Kevin makes my voice.
Yeah.
I like how you assumed that was your voice.
Well, it certainly wasn't yours, Mr. Purse Falls Out.
You have one joke, I swear to God.
And it works.
Yeah, it's my joke, so you're welcome.